Welcome to the intro. I'm Jess Huddleston, and today on the show we have Toronto-based Oji-Cree singer-songwriter Aysanabee, whose emotive, larger-than-life anthems are already making waves. Here's Aysanabee performing Ego Death.
Have you come to take me home? Stories very long ago. Have you come to take me home? The selfish words that kept me from. Have I lost my change? The stories written in these hands. Have you come to take me home? Oh, selfish love that filled the hole. Too long, but I only got myself to blame. 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 Oh no no no. No, no, no. Oh, no, no, no. Oh, no, 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 no. I used to say I don't believe in anything that leads to grieving. The only thing that's worth achieving in store with me. Only got myself to blame. 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 Oh no 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 no. Oh no no no. I got myself to blame.
Wow. Thank you so much for that. You have such a gift.
Thank you.
Honestly, just such beautiful music. I'm really, really happy to have you here.
It's a pleasure to be here.
Oh, good. Can you introduce me to everyone else who's here today?
Yeah, of course. We got Kyla Charter, Nick Taiteshi, Miles Gibbons, Devin Lougheed, and Gina Kennedy.
Hello. Welcome, everybody. Welcome to the intro. So happy to have y'all. You, my friend, are in the business of making anthems, just anthem after anthem. It's unbelievable to me. And I would really love to know what your songwriting process is like.
Well, I guess for these songs, like the process changes a bit, I guess. A lot of the time I'll start with a song and just kind of, set up the mic and started kind of just belting into it. So I guess like, a lot of the songs the writing can be simple sometimes, but I feel like I kind of like augment a lot of emotion into those songs, I guess. But the songs I'm playing today are based off of conversations I had with my grandfather over the course of the pandemic.
Amazing. Yeah. No, that's so interesting that you sort of feel it from a body and a voice perspective before putting words into it.
Yeah. It's kind of it's really interesting. I don't know. I guess maybe I compartmentalize a little bit,
Right.
and then just when I songwrite, like I just process things, and I guess that's always been the way for me since I was even a kid.
Really?
Starting to songwrite, yeah.
Everyone's different. That's very cool. My first introduction to you was Ocean Breath.
Yeah.
Beautiful song, beautiful video. It just totally blew me away, and I wanted to immediately dig into everything you've done. And when I went to dig into it, that was it. That was the only song, and then that was the only song for a minute, and there's been a bit of a slow trickle of songs that have come together since then. I kind of have gotten the feeling that you're very patient and mindful with your music and with the process, as it pertains to releasing it.
Yeah, like we finished the album, and it actually happened a lot quicker than I thought it was going to happen. I when I started working on this project, like it wasn't actually meant to be an album. It was just kind of me recording, kind of interviewing my grandfather for the first year of the pandemic, and I thought, I was just recording his stories, and I didn't think I'd make music out of it until I was listening back to the interviews, and I was playing guitar, and I wrote a song, and then I wrote a couple of songs, and I thought it would be something I'd kind of work on, after work, and maybe I'd have a finished album after like a few years or something. But then I met Oji-Cree Records, and we just being able to work with them, and put together this project and kind of at a lot quicker pace and put it together has been absolutely amazing.
Yeah. Oh, that is amazing. It sounds like it was a match made. Absolutely. And I want to get into Oji-Cree a little bit later because that's very cool. Let's go back to the beginning, though, of you deciding to really commit to music full time. I read that there was quite a harrowing experience in the wild that kind of made you come to that realization. Would you be comfortable telling us about that?
Yeah. I was working up north, and I was like snowshoeing across this river, and so we'd kind of work solo. So like I think my nearest colleague would have been probably like 12 kilometers through the forest.
Wow.
And so I was snowshoeing across, and I broke through the ice, and I stuck my axe into the lake ice or river, and kind of pulled myself across, but I could like feel the water kind of like, pulling out my snowshoes and filling up my snow pants, and it's like -40 up there.
My goodness.
And so it's like middle of February, and so I think, I kind of just had a lot of time to think. It was only like maybe a 15-meter river or something, but it was like long enough to kind of just be like, this is the end for me. And, I just thought like, what am I doing here? Like what, this isn't what I want to be doing. So I think, I kind of made a promise to myself and, to a higher power. If I can get out of here, then I would kind of do something different. I'd do what I want to do, which is make music. So I got across, I started a fire, dried off, and snowshoed back to camp, and then finished the job. But then 3 months later, bought a ticket to Toronto.
Wow. That is a story. I mean, I'm so happy that you are, firstly, okay. And also, I just think it's so interesting how those moments of real darkness can also breed such clarity. And it sounds like it led you exactly where you were supposed to be.
I think so.
Yeah. I'd love for you to tell me about this next song. It is so tender yet so powerful. I really love it. Can you talk about We Were Here?
Yeah. So I think We Were Here was a song I wrote. It's part of the album, and it's kind of the crux of the album, I guess. Which is family history. It's identity. It's where we come from. And when I started interviewing my grandfather, like his memories weren't so good. So like there was like certain stories that he had told me, which there was a bunch of parts missing, and I guess there was just this sense of urgency and regret that I waited so long to get these stories and to hear these stories and to record these stories. And so that song was kind of written about that feeling, I guess, of just that bittersweet, better late than never, or whatever. But
Mhm.
like recording a piece of where we're from, and yeah, I'm not sure if that answers the
It
question.
does. Yeah, recording a piece of your own personal history. I think a lot of people would really feel that urgency and regret. It's a great way of saying it, to capture a moment in time, but also your roots and where
Yeah,
you came from. It's very important. Well, I can't wait to hear it. Let's get into We Were Here. Thank
sounds
you.
good.
City we can reconcile it. What a day in the past. City we can reconcile it. If I can. Sin not bird. Sin not bird. Oh, Lord. Sin not bird. Does it feel like we're on the edge? Throwing down a certain day. Why does it feel like the story ends before it starts? We were here in these faded memories. Oh, we were here in these fleeting stories. Oh, we were here in these disappearing words, even when they start losing meaning. Should not burn. It should not burn. Oh, oh. It should not burn. It should not burn. I guess we come and go just like the days that's locked and dark in the morning rays. I guess just like the snow we fall, we melt, we fade away. A month, a day, a week, a year, just like to say that we were here. We were here in these fading memories. Oh, we were here in these fleeting stories. Oh, we were here in these disappearing words, even when they start losing meaning. Listen out there. Listen out there. Oh, oh. Listen out there. Listen out
Just gorgeous. Thank you so much. How
Thank
does
you.
it feel to be doing this?
Amazing, amazing. Yeah, like to be able to do it kind of live and with people around is quite a bit different than how it's been for the last
Yeah.
couple of years. So like definitely don't take it for granted anymore.
Good, good. Yeah, no, neither do we. We're so happy to have everyone here. And I got to know about the singing voice of yours. When did you discover that?
So yeah, like I did, like I mentioned, I grew up in this house. We didn't have like TV or electricity and stuff for most of the time. And so my brother, when he left, he left some Bob Marley CDs. And so when we'd put the generator on, I had this CD player and put these Bob Marley CDs on. And so that's how I started teaching myself how to play music. And so I moved into this house of artists when I was 15, and I started a band. And we did our first show in Thunder Bay. It was this battle of the bands, and then there was only like classic rock and metal and folk were kind of the main genres up there.
Right.
And so we get up there, and I'm like, yeah, we're so-and-so, and we're going to play some original songs I wrote. And then we started playing, and people were like, all right, some reggae music. And then I just started singing with like the deepest, thickest Jamaican accent you've ever heard, because I had no reference. And so that was it. I was literally Bob, like, yeah. So I think that still to this day like really impacts my tone a lot.
Yeah, I'll say.
It impacts the tone, but the accent's definitely gone. I think
Probably
like,
for the best.
yeah, like the indigenous guy culturally appropriating is like
Everyone's got to start somewhere, Bob. We love Bob. That's great. I'm very glad you told that story. We talked a little bit about Ish Cadet Records before, and I would love to get back into that. You were the first act signed to an Indigenous-owned, Indigenous-operated record label, one of the first, of its kind, which I just think is so cool. Tell me about that process and sort of stepping in as the first signee.
I was in Prince Edward County helping my friend build a tiny home, and they had called this brewery to deliver food because they wanted to do like the wine and dine thing. Right. So like they actually had someone like deliver this food to like this little patch in the middle of nowhere. And I was like in my car and like on the phone Zoom and like eating food in the car in the bush, just
signing a deal.
But working with them ever since has been kind of crazy. It's been I signed last summer, and everything that's happened in the year has been kind of beyond anything I could have expected. I've I got to play a lot of really cool shows, and I got to. I'm not sure if I can say Mavis Staples opened for me. I was like a tweener set.
You can say it. You can say that.
Just really cool things, and being able to like travel, go to different places in the world, and play and perform, and being able to do this full time, and especially with Amanda and Shona, who are both Indigenous, like strong Indigenous women, and just to be able to create music and to create art in that space. Is just an incredible thing.
A special thing, absolutely. Tell me about the landscape right now. I'm sure you're meeting so many other artists out there. Are there other artists who you really find yourself connecting with? Of course, we have great artists here, but are there other people who you feel like have imparted pearls of wisdom on you and who you've made really interesting connections with?
Like I spent a lot of time with Hill Kirkudis, who produced the record, and
Juno winner.
Yeah, she just won a Juno. For Sound Recording Engineer of the Year, first woman to do so, and I think, being able to work with her, especially, I think it was November or maybe late October when we started, and she just had so many stories. I spent like I think like 10 days just at her house in Barrie, and so like she had like a guest bedroom, and we would just kind of get up, and she would tell me all these crazy stories because she used to, I think she started out as the drummer on Radio Free Roscoe. I was like, should I say that or should I not say that? I don't know. That's my truth to
You're
share.
You're dropping all sorts of truth today. I'm loving it.
But she used to like play with like The Weeknd and stuff, when he was starting out. And so like, just all these really interesting stories, and especially even Shoshona and Amanda. Shoshona and from Digging Roots, like they have so many of these road stories, and I'm just like, wow, this seems like such a alternate universe that you guys get to enjoy. And now I'm slowly starting to get there. Like I remember, one moment in particular, I played Montreal Jazz Festival, and then I had to be in Mariposa the next day. And so they sent a car at 4 a.m. And I got into the car with this gentleman, and he's just like, "Oh, I hear you got to get to a festival. You're gonna make it?" And I was like, "I don't know. Like, I gotta. Hopefully, the airport gets there, and I have to like rent a car from the airport and drive there and get out of the car and go directly onto stage."
Right.
And like, if everything, and so I'm telling him like all my problems, and then he's like, it was great chatting with you, man. He like gives me my guitar and my stuff, and he's like, "All right, man. Well, I'll see you later. Good luck." And I was like, "Thanks." And then we ended up being on the same flight, and I was like, we ended up talking about, I think we were talking about our favorite food in Montreal. So we're just doing some small talk. And then I was like, "Wait, so who are you, by the way?" And he like pulls off his mask. He's like, "Oh yeah, I'm Cedric Burnside, like the Grammy winning, blues artist of the year."
Wow.
I'm just there like talking about poutine and like this
What a better thing to bond over.
Yeah, so it's just really cool little things like that, which like also are just so surreal a little bit for me.
Definitely. I think that you are really going to do great things. And in doing great things, I think you're going to have a lot of eyeballs on you, a lot of young people, a lot of young Indigenous people who I think are just going to be so excited about and blown away by your upward trajectory. So as you're just sort of starting out on your own here, if you could leave a message with young people and young artists maybe looking to do what you're doing, what do you think that message would be?
Yeah, definitely don't waste time and just go for your dreams. Things have changed, and it's different now than it was for our relatives, and we actually have access to the same opportunities to get to achieve what we want, and not just succeed, but to thrive there. So
Amazing. I've had such a great time chatting with you today. Thank you so much for the music and for your stories and lots of wisdom as well. I really, really enjoyed this conversation, and I'm so excited for your debut album, and I wish you all the best.
thank you.
Let's get into one final song. What's that song?
Nomads.
Okay, let's hear Nomads. Thank you.
Thank you.
Where do we go from here? Where do we go from here? Hey, Father, we fed the scripture. Hey, Father, nothing we ate the scripture. I was gone all those years, chasing all those different bees. I was gone all those years, running from invisible fears.
Sometimes they used to beat the drum for an hour steady until our dead people come to us.
I was gone all those years. Fake you always be here. I was gone all those years. While you slowly disappear. Oh, they blinded light.
fantastic. Was good. Oh, clear to see. What's your name?
There you have it, the very powerful sounds of Aysanabee. For more episodes of The Intro, you can hang out here or you can head to cbcmusic.ca/theintro.